What's so special about Hero Bread's soft, fluffy, and delicious breads, buns, and tortillas? These ultra-low net-carb baked goods contain zero sugar, fewer calories, and more protein than the leading brands, and are high in fiber to support gut health. Shop now at hero.co.
What up, y'all? This is Shan. Welcome to Cozy Womb. Thank you for coming. Today's episode is about, are my kids too young to learn responsibility? My answer automatically is hell no. But let's get into why. We are spilling the beans. All right. So kids, when do they learn responsibility? As soon as you teach them. They can be 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 22 is when you're going to keep teaching your kid responsibilities. You have to learn as a parent to give orders sometimes and not options. That's going to prevent a lot of talk back, a lot of you saying no, a lot of just them thinking like this is a discussion and not me telling you you're going to. You have to let them clean up before they start a new activity from when they're young. I've been doing that with my 4-year-old since she was 2. If you want to go from this room to that room, you to pick up all these toys. Because before I became a mother, I just knew I was never going to be that parent that had that house that looked like I had kids from the curb. Y'all know that house where there's toys all over the yard. There's chalk and markers and crayons on the floor up to the door. There's ice cream wrappers. There's candy paper. Just all types of kiddie stuff before you actually see one kid. And I hate seeing houses like that because just because you have kids doesn't mean you lose your mind and you lose your stance as a parent, as an adult. Doesn't mean you cannot see when there's things that needs to be picked up. And if I see a house like that, it tells me automatically that your kid just ransacks your house. They don't have no say so as far as like, dang, I think I'm supposed to clean that up, because you're not making them clean it up. You know, you got to teach them to clean up what they use while they're young. That way, when they're older, it's not an issue. When they get up in the morning, teach them to make their bed. Right now, because my schedule's hella crazy, I'm not taking time out for Anya to make her bed in the morning when she's 4. I'm not doing it. We get up at 5 a.m. Okay? I'm not doing it. It's not an issue, girl. You're just going to slip back into that thing later. But when she gets older, like 6, 7, she's definitely making her bed before she leaves her room. That's definitely getting done. Now, if you want to talk about me, I am 31, and sometimes I make my bed if I want to see my duvet look cute on it. Sometimes I fluff my pillows before I leave the house, if that's how I'm feeling. But most of the time, when I have to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning with 2 kids and drive the opposite way for me to go to work to drop them off and then drive to work, I'm not making up no beds. But we not talking about me. We talking about your kids, okay? We're not talking about me. You know, we have to teach them to turn off lights when they're not in the room. I constantly have to tell Anya this. Turn off the lights when you're not in the room. My grandfather would have probably rolled over in his grave 6 times if he saw how long a light was on and nobody was in the room. That was his pet peeve in my aunt's house. He'll call your name Chantal, or he'll call my cousin's name Simone, Or he'll call my other cousin name, Felicia. And we're like, yes, Grandpa. Are you in the kitchen? And everybody's like, no. So why is the kitchen light on? And then everybody's like, oh, he wants to go turn off the light. No matter where we were, we could be outside, in the back, on the side of the house, upstairs, doing whatever. You come in that room, if you have to go steps, if you have to go down steps, and you're turning off that light. And call you again. Call you. Just calling. Whoever answer, calling. If you're not in the bathroom, you need to turn off the light. Have to go wherever that bathroom is and turn off that light. He could be standing right there by the bathroom. He is not turning off that light. You're going to come find him and turn off that light. So I teach her that, you know what? Electricity in Georgia ain't cheap. Georgia Power don't care what your pocket looking like. They want their money ASAP. So if she's not in the room, turn off the light. Like, my pet peeve when I wake up in the morning is if I woke up and I see that the outside light was on and I forgot to turn that shit off, because they're going to charge me by the hour of that light being on. I'm like, damn, I just slept a good 12 hours. It pisses me off, but you have to teach your kids that from when they're young, so when they're older, they understand the cost portion of it. You have to teach your kids to say thank you, share, make sure your little brother / sister doesn't touch this or play with this. I tell Anya that all the time now. She's pretty good about it. Some of the times, like, if she has like a little doggy thing and it eats little food, I don't want Ari to see it. Unlike Anya, Ari puts everything in her mouth. Anya, I never had to deal with that. Anya would see something on the floor and come find you and bring it to you before she even thinks about putting it in her mouth. Ari is like, you know what? I like food. This kind of looks like food. I'm going to try it and taste it. If you're going to try to come get it from me, I'm going to run. And that's the difference. They're different. So I just try to make sure there's nothing around or nothing little enough for her to put in her mouth. You teach them to keep a clean room, because I've seen some nasty adults in my life that don't know how to keep a clean room. Teach them after they're eating to clear the table, put the plate in the sink, and wash their hands before they do anything else. The only place in my house that you will see a child eating will be in the kitchen, because the kitchen floors are easy to clean, sometimes depending on what they have. The living room, if it's something dry that can be vacuumed or picked up by hand, I'll let you eat in there. But if it's something liquid, put that in the kitchen. You know you're not supposed to be anywhere but in the kitchen. Do I shampoo my rug in my house every other Sunday? Yes. Why? Because I have a child that's crawling on the floor, picking things up off of the floor. Do you have to take your shoes off before you come in my house? Yes. For the same reason. It's a responsibility thing, and I want my girls to see that there is levels of cleaning in the house that need to be done in order for your house to look like this, smell like this, be like this. And when they see me do it, when they get older, they're going to do it. When they go in anybody else's house, nobody's going to be able to say to them, hey, you didn't pick up this. This is not clean. You have to set the example. And if you are messy and stuff is just all over the place in your room and in your house and in your life, that's going to be your child too. Sometimes you may find the opposite in some kids because their personalities are different, but the odds are they're going to pick up a lot of habits you have. You know, let your kids earn gifts. I'm not giving my daughters anything they see and want and do not need in a moment, because that's not how life works. Do they deserve it because I probably could afford it? Probably. Do they need it? No. And I want them to earn things, not just think they can see something, want it, and get it. I let Anya straighten up the books. Even if she didn't mess up the bookshelf, I keep their books on the bottom shelf. That way Ari can get to it. Ari usually just likes to take the books off the shelf and have them on the floor. And I always tell Anya to, pick them up. And she gets annoyed. She'll say, but she didn't do it. That's fine. But because you're the oldest, you're going to end up doing a lot of things that you didn't do for the sake of your sister. And when your sister sees that you're putting those books back, she too is going to learn to put those books back. But for right now, let her do her thing. And you're going to clean it up afterwards. And now, like, if I say clean up the room, because they have like a playroom in my house and they have their own room, Ari will help her clean up. Why? Because Ari seen her sister clean up. It's very easy to teach them to be responsible. You have to teach them to come home, wash their hands, put their book bag in their room, eat, do homework, then play, then eat dinner, take a bath, and bed. You have to teach them what the schedule is during the week. You don't always have to tell a child something that you always show. That's being responsible. Teach them to prep before that something comes up instead of last minute doing things. Teach them what you want to see. If you don't do it, they're not going to do it. If you don't lead by example, they're not going to do it. Like, I want to say since second grade till today, and I am 31, I've been taking out my clothes that I'm going to wear for the next day, every day. Middle school, high school, college, work life. Now, I still do that because my brain in the morning is on a high grade program. I'm talking about an iOS system that is beyond me. Okay? I need things and places where they need to be so I can go in a timely fashion. So I have to pick my clothes out. And if I don't pick my clothes out in the morning, you're going to see everything everywhere of me trying to find something to wear to work. And I don't want that. I don't want to deal with that. I'm not going to deal with that. Therefore, I have my prep process. And I want my girls to learn that it's better to prep for things before actually having to do them and do last minute things. Out of habit, responsibility, it's a good thing. Be prepared so you don't have to get prepared. You know what I'm saying? Teach them these habits. Your kids are not too young to learn how to be responsible. You know what I'm saying? You can do it. They can do it. And together, y'all gonna appreciate each other. Because if a child could do something that you don't have to, guess what? You could do something else you gotta do. Okay? They could do it. Just teach them. Take the time out to teach them and give them the space to learn. Young children can learn responsibility. Don't assume you have to do it all. They can learn. You just need to teach them. That is it for this episode. You guys enjoy your day. Continue to be great parents. You know, they will not overtake us. We can survive them. This is Cozy Womb. I appreciate you listening, and I